how's it going everyone? JStar here and welcome back to another Pokémon Horizons episode review. In case you missed last week's episode, make sure you check it out because this week's episode links directly into the end of last week's episode. In the episode last week, we had a nice little bonding moment between Roy and Fuecoco, who was starting to become friends and starting to come together. And right at the end of the episode, we had the Explorers and Amethio heading for Liko to get the pendant. So now that you're all caught up on what happened last week, let's jump into today's episode review. The episode opens up with Liko's pendant creating a shield around Liko and Sprigatito to stop the Explorers, in particular Amethio, getting to her. As the shield is protecting Liko, Roy's Pokeball starts to glow, a bit like it did earlier on in the episodes. However, the shield only lasts for a couple of seconds and the shield and the glows end, and Liko and Roy challenge Amethio to a battle, and it's pretty much a whitewash. They are getting destroyed. I mean, Fuecoco and Sprigatito have got no chance against Ceruledge. They are standing no chance whatsoever. And just as they are about to lose, Roy rushes in trying to protect Fuecoco, and Liko says, "Please, pendant, protect us." And it starts to glow and it activates Roy's Pokeball. That starts to glow and it opens up, and a shiny Rayquaza flies up into the sky. I'll tell you what, it was really interesting and good to see this shiny Rayquaza and seeing how scary it looks. Like it is really angry. I mean, it's looking at Roy's Pokeball and it's just roaring and screaming at them. Yeah, I feel like it didn't like being trapped inside that Pokeball. However, shiny Rayquaza doesn't really do much. I mean, it fires a Draco Meteor, it scares the Explorers away, and then it just flies up into the sky, and that's all we get to see of it. Sometime later, though, we head to the Rising Volt Tackler's airship, and Roy tells Fuecoco about his feelings and how he wants to become his partner and wants to catch Fuecoco, and Fuecoco seems to agree the same because it gives Roy the Pokeball, and Roy does indeed catch Fuecoco. Roy then also tells his grandfather that he wants to go on lots of adventures, and now that he's got Fuecoco at his side and wants to help with Fuecoco's dreams, and telling him that he wants to join the Rising Volt Tacklers, and his grandfather agrees and says that he can join them. Sometime a little later, we then head to the Explorers HQ, and they are having a meeting with their boss. And their boss isn't too happy with Amethio and the fact that he's failed so many times to get this pendant from a little girl. So he decides to hire someone else to track the pendant down and tells Amethio that he is off the mission and he's not to get this pendant anymore. Amethio doesn't seem too upset with this opinion as he talks to the other two of his Explorer team that were with him and said that if he's off the pendant team, then he's going to be heading for that shiny Rayquaza and trying to get that. We then head back to the Rising Volt Tackler's airship as it is taking off from the island, and it's going to head for the Paleda region, and that is where the episode ended. So there we go, that is the 6th episode of Pokemon Horizons done. We are blasting through these episodes. The first point I want to talk about is, of course, Shiny Rayquaza. I like the introduction of Shiny Rayquaza, the fact that it was trapped in this Pokeball. It seems to have been there for a long time. We also learned from Roy's grandfather that there was once a really special traveller who used to travel and explore the regions, and he used to have this black shiny Rayquaza. But for the Rayquaza to come out of the Pokeball and look really angry, it either had something bad happen to it when it was last put in that Pokeball, or the fact that it's opened its eyes and realised that it's not in the timeline it's supposed to be in. Like, the adventurer who was travelling with it is not there, and it's this boy who's got the Pokeball. He must have really been angry about all that. But yeah, I would have liked a little bit more from Rayquaza. The other point I want to talk about is the Explorers. Now that Amethio and the other two are off the team, it means we're going to get the introduction of Spinal, I believe he's called. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce his name yet. He's going to be the one tracking down Liko and the pendant. We also learned that their big boss is called Master Gibeon. We don't actually get to see him, we just get to hear his voice, but I'm interested to see what's going to be happening. Hopefully we'll get an arc in the future where Master Gibeon and all these Explorers members all come together to fight Liko and Roy. But the rating I'm going to give this episode is a 10 out of 10. We're back to a 10 out of 10 episode. It was really good. In fact, we had Shiny Rayquaza's introduction, we had more about the Explorers, and we had Roy catching Fuecoco. Yeah, pretty good episode. Make sure you check it out. But I think that's where we're going to end this episode off. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed these, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Let me know if you want me to continue these. Comment down below in the comment section if you want to ask any questions. What do you think of Shiny Rayquaza? Let me know your thoughts. And finally, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next week with the next one.